Greetings, brothers and sisters. I'm Kemet Shockley. I'm going to talk about Was Garvey a Hotep? Contemporary strategies in the war against African people. I've prepared some remarks. The FBI and CIA have used numerous tactics to disrupt African people from making progress in the war that has been waged against us. While the African centered community has had a measure of success demonstrating the need for re Africanization, agents of confusion, some paid by governments and institutions and others completely unpaid, have been working to undo the work of freedom fighters such as Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, and Francis Cress Welsing, using tools that have been advanced by enemies of African people. Reactionary forces such as the Democrat and Republican parties and the internet, all of which are European powers, have afforded attention-starved, unconscious agents of confusion to act as a force against an inevitable African victory. This set of ideas will shed light on some of those contemporary forces and provide solutions to help us to get to the work of Garvey and other transformative African-centered progressives. One such force that goes against African people having one aim and one destiny is the ADOS or ADOS movement, which stands for American Descendants of Slavery. The central idea of this movement is that Black people whose ancestry is directly traceable to the United States and its enslavement period are a unique and distinct group who should see themselves uniquely and distinctly from other groups of Black people born elsewhere, such as the Caribbean or Africa, etc. One of the claims is that other groups, such as Africans, etc., create complications toward Black people of this country's move to pressure the United States government for reparations, especially when those groups act, as ADOS leaders claim, as avatars. That is, they disguise themselves as Black Americans amongst us, and then they set to undermine our efforts toward reparations or perhaps undermine other grievances we may have with the United States government. The 1960s FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover said that allowing American Negroes and Africans to recognize their common interest would pose a threat to U.S. national security. There's a long history of the United States and European governments interfering in the affairs of Black people in order to maintain the current status quo, which is, the status quo is that we are divided and conquered. Examples of their interference include the fact that they caused the Hutu and Tutsi wars in Rwanda. They caused the assassination of Patrice Lumumba. They caused the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana, and the CIA admitted manipulation and the creation of coups in Angola and Chad. The US and Europe are hell bent on keeping African countries from pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, and they are hell bent on keeping different Black groups around the world from recognizing and understanding their common interest and their common enemy. The thing that Black people in the US, the Caribbean, Africa, Black people in Australia, Black people in Europe, and Black people on every square inch of this earth have in common is that they are all being oppressed by the system of global white terror and domination, AKA the system of white supremacy. Trying to transcend that as being the main problem is an attempt to be creative. But whatever you come with after engaging your creativity is destructive and wrongheaded. It is creative to advocate that Black people or Africans who are descendants of slavery on US soil should see themselves as being distinct from other Black people. But it's wrongheaded. With or without the assistance of the FBI and CIA, I'm not sure. The ADOS idea speaks vehemently against Pan-Africanism at a time when we are traveling to the continent and to the Caribbean more than we ever have, and people from those places are also coming here. We are intermarrying with one another now more than we ever have. We're seeing our connection to other Black people as an asset via the establishment of organizations such as the Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program, the repatriatetogghana.com program. We're uncovering our historical roots through the world to the world via historians such as Ashra Kwesi, Anthony Browder, Runoko Rashidi, and the Ka Institute, which is a US organization owned by African Americans who completed a major documentary on the world's first Maroon group in Colombia, South America. I cannot name all the current efforts that are happening where brothers and sisters from the Caribbean, Africa, and the US and other places in the world are successfully creating meaningful partnerships with one another. But I will name a few more. In Ghana, the Ivory Coast, and other African countries, they've welcomed African descendants home through the year of return. The Caribbean Regional Conference of Psychology is holding a major conference focused on the psychology of the Black world and our need to unify. And I and others have been invited to come to the Caribbean to participate. There have been major Pan-African conferences being held in South Africa, West and Central Africa, that are focused on Black unity. And in the midst of all that, not a new and innovative way to bring down the white supremacist system, not a call for unique approaches to solve the problem of being dominated, but instead, out of nowhere, a movement that damns Pan-Africanism, tribalizes Black Americans while encouraging non-Black Americans to simply just be damned, and reduces Marcus Garvey to a hotep. Brothers and sisters, this is not happening on accident. Paid or unpaid agents of confusion are distracting Pan-African efforts toward the only thing that even the US government says could give them a run for their money: a unified, worldwide, Pan-Africanist minded Black population. While we are encouraged to fight for the crumbs that may fall off the reparations table, the real gem and jewel is the continent of Africa, our home, which is being physically, psychologically, and cosmologically molested. Brothers and sisters, our worldwide unity combined with the wealth of Africa dwarfs the entire economy of the United States and Europe down to pennies, comparatively speaking. Yes, we deserve reparations, but if we get our thinking straight, we can get those reparations and repair ourselves at the same time. Be you distracted by tomfoolery of YouTubers and social media idiots and closeted Democrats and Republicans if you want. But I say we continue to ball up our fists in collective unity and pack a powerful punch to the system of white supremacy, not get distracted by fussing and fighting with one another, which is what we have done that has caused us to be in this position in the first place. The only way we can get it together is through Pan-African efforts under the red, black, and green flag, and to push for international Pan-Africanism. So if Garvey was a hotep, then a hotep is the thing to be. We've always only had really one solution to this problem, and that's African-centered Pan-Africanism. I'm Kemet Shockley, hotep, and Asante Sana.